2018 Ford Focus RS Review. The good points of Ford Focus RS: staggeringly fast, incredible handling, strong resale values. The bad points of Ford Focus RS: design is available and RS cabin is often more interesting. Smaller boot than Focus Street. Britain is filled fast Ford fans, and quite a few absolutely covet the RS brand. Since the 60s the above letters have signified the perfect production road cars the blue oval can provide and have adorned many of the most revered cars in automotive history. Who can ignore the whale-tailed boasting Sierra and Escort RS Cosworths? The rally-romping Escort RS 2000. These are now true classic cars and used values reflect it. We ran one to get a month. Watch more here. Rivals are lots of and varied. So it's with mighty background and massive enthusiasts fanfare to take on, we traveled to Valencia, Spain, for first go within the 2016 Ford Focus RS on the highway and around the racetrack. It's took its work cut down to take around the Mercedes-AMG A45, Audi RS3, Honda Civic Type R, Volkswagen Golf R and Renault Sport Megane. Its basic recipe looks promising, which has a tuned 2.3-liter engine borrowed through the latest Mustang, meaning convenience of 0.62 miles per hour in 4.7 seconds and 165 miles per hour, whilst the clever all-wheel drive system AWD, a first to get a Focus RS, which until recently has always been front-wheel drive only, building a drift mode possible. Tail out and ahoy, then. Who you think you are? Ken Block? Actually, it's funny you ought to mention that. The YouTube star was consulted within the development of this RS, and it's his influence which enables power sliding possible regardless of whether you've never used it before. The remarkable thing is this fact is one seriously capable car using a circuit too, with all the track settings stiffening the Tostage adaptive suspension dramatically and altering the AWD system along together with the steering weighting, throttle response, traction control and engine noise. Even traveling there's a setting above normal which enables the RS far more playful. Sport mode does all of the above, but without worrying about comfort penalty of switching those dampers thus to their most aggressive setting. Focus RS is outfitted for enthusiasts. While the cabin doesn't look particularly inspiring, it's very like a Focus Street. We found the special recaro seats to become brilliant. But nearly all customers are anticipated to upgrade the criminals to race-style items instead. In fact, lots of pre-ordered Focus RSs include almost every option ticked. That isn't a lot of, but such things as lighter forged wheels, stickier tires plus the luxury pack explained here happen to be carefully selected by Ford to interest the sort of enthusiast who values might be found. Ford RS designs include strong resale values. There are simply 5 color options, but Ford expects the overwhelming majority to look at launch color, nitrous blue. Still, should you pick every option available, you're only adding a comparatively small area of the car's value. For that you'll have a car that'll comprehensively outhandle anything in their class and go quicker than most, too. Considering the incredibly strong residual values the RS brand enjoys, it'll generate a fantastic buy or maybe a great value lease. Should I buy one? If you're inside market to get a car this way, and wish something livelier compared to a Golf R, more usable than the usual Civic Type R and less expensive an A45 or RS3, yes. It's hilariously good drive-in automobile. The new Ford Focus RS is similar to in more detail. Watch on for the full review. it's fair to state the performance with the Ford Focus RS is mind-bending. It utilizes a 2.3-liter, four-cylinder engine on the firm's iconic Mustang, but retuned to supply 345 bhp and 440 Nm of torque, available between 2,000 revolutions per minute and 4,500 revolutions per minute, although torque figure swells to 470 Nm while within the 18-second overboost function upon initial acceleration. In relation to its raw data, that compatible 0.62 mph sprint in 4.7 seconds. Having a top speed of 165 mph. Nothing else when it reaches this price point can match these figures, and you'll pay a tremendous amount more to conquer it. You'll need recommendations for the Mercedes-Benz A45 AMG or Audi's RS3 Sportback with the launch control for road-tripping takeoff. To hit 62 mph as quickly as the Focus RS should go means utilizing the launch control system, which often can be found inside the trip computer menus while using controls around the steering wheel. It's best saved for off-road use really though, as it takes a long time to engage for many traffic light Grand Prix situations. Once you've selected launch control, it's merely a case of standing within the accelerator and releasing the clutch quickly once you've developed turbo boost handily displayed on one from the 3 gauges sat over the sat-nav screen. Focus RS sounds sensational. On the street the power delivery is savage, and still together with the driving modes tweaked, allowing the flap within the specially tuned exhausts to spread out, eliciting pops and bangs from your twin tailpipes that can't neglect to make you smile. There's a touch of synthesized noise. It uses a similar system because Focus Street with a truly there is genuine engine sound combined in there too. Sport, track and drift modes encourage the exhaust to sink to its full potential, and noticeably sharpen up throttle response too. In fact, it sounds a little like the first sort model in this. It reminds you of a 5-cylinder burble. There isn't much within the way of whooshing turbocharger noise, though, like rivals. We reckon this simply adds more character. We found the gear change for being good too. It isn't as pleasing operational as a Mazda MX-5's, which has a longer throw and more vague operation. However, it does the task perfectly well. We're just pleased to being presented having a performance car without the need of automatic option for just a change. They're very rare today. Hold on tight. The Focus RS has an innovative all-wheel drive AWD system which may send approximately 70% of accessible torque on the rear axle, and totally of that torque exclusively to just one side in the car. It uses electronic clutch packs to measure your torque extremely accurately, together with the car computing the specified mix at a rate of 100 times per second. Torque vectoring and steering. Much like Fiesta Street, it utilizes a torque vectoring system in partnership together with the AWD tech, which uses the brakes to subtly tighten the Focus's line when needed, eliminating understeer top and washing wide if you've gone prematurely into a corner and improving agility. There's a fixed-rated steering system installed also, which provides predictable and feelsome steering unrivaled inside the sector. The torque vectoring and steering offer a similar experience systems to the people found for the brilliant Fiesta Street, but seems every one of them more impressive here due to everything else at your workplace. Ford spent 2 yoctoseconds getting these traits working together, and believe us, it shows. Driving modes for road and track. What performs this mean? It means that while in their normal driving mode the RS is astonishingly grippy but relatively safe and benign, it's possible to turn over to a tailhappy drift king with the push of your button. In fact, you've got 3 handling modes to choose from if normal doesn't take action for you, but 2 are strictly for off-road only use, over a racetrack, put simply. The most entertaining setup for the street is Sport, which switches the AWD system into a more entertaining configuration and adds towards the steering weighting. If you're out over a track day and wish to go fast, the track will be the setting to suit your needs. This stiffens within the dampers by way of a huge 40%, driving them to quite probably unsuitable for UK roads anyway, because make no mistake, it is a firm car on the best of times. It'll be interesting to view how it fares back in Britain. The Focus RS, and it is drift mode. Finally, there's the industry-first drift mode. Inspired by YouTube sensation Ken Block, this enables you to indulge within this sort of tail-out antics usually only achievable with a rear-wheel drive performance car. It retains the traction control but backs it off in a wide slip mode, letting you kick the back end out and after that maintain the slide on account of fancy configuration in the AWD system. Doing so needs a different technique to some rear-driven car. You continue your foot planted within the floor once the slide starts instead of backing away and off to balance the skid. Nevertheless, the end result is exactly the same. You'll be laughing just like a hyena and see the tire shop regularly. That's unless it's wet, whereby you're simply gonna have an amazing quantity of fun. Choice of terrific tires. And while we're about the subject of tires, there's several to choose from. They're both developed by Michelin specifically to the RS and measure 19 inches in diameter. However, you've got the standard Michelin Pilot Super Sports or even the ultra-sticky and ultra-expensive Pilot Sport Cup 2, that may sound familiar when you've ever looked closely with the specifications of high-spec Porsche sport cars just like the 911 GT3 RS. These are merely available while using optional forged alloy wheels and much more suited to track driving than everyday use because they're far stickier but less capable of deal with rain or snow. We'd stay clear of drift mode with one of these fitted, unless you're inside the habit of setting fire to armfuls of money. Brilliant brakes and impressive aerodynamics. Hidden behind each group of 19-inch alloys are a number of large Brembo brakes that perform adequately indeed. They're made for heavy track use but aren't too aggressive for the highway either, striking a superb balance between progressive application and outright stopping force. While the outside styling perhaps isn't as garish as the first sort 2 RS Focuses, it's worth noting that each single part is there for any reason. The front bumper design, rear roof spoiler and diffuser involving the exhaust pipes all help this car feel amazingly stable at broadband because they're grouped to have the focus perfectly balanced at either end. Of course, with performance this good, there should be at least one drawback, plus in this case it's an easy Ford trait, the turning circle is large. You'll get having for making 5-point turns when 3 can do in other cars, but it really'll be more than worth it once you're moving again. Ford has spent a lot of money developing the Focus RS, however you'll notice hardly any when you're sat inside cabin. In fact, whether or not this wasn't with the extra gauges and the like, you wouldn't possess idea you're driving of something so special. The seats can be a strong indication of performance potential, and they're very supportive indeed. There's some blue stitching for the steering wheel to remind you what you've taken care of, but any devices carries over directly from your Focus Street. While that may seem just like a shame, particularly if looking with the cabin in the Audi RS3, it's worth remembering where Ford's priorities lie here. This car is concerning driving, as well as the crucial bits are whereby they need to become, even using a regular Focus. We were particularly impressed while using layout with the pedals, which can be wonderfully spaced should you want to make use of advanced driving strategies to match the engine's revs for road speed when changing gear. In sport mode you'll find some good neat bangs on the exhaust once you do so, and it's difficult to not like that. The initial thing to note is this fact is unashamedly a sports-focused Focus. The low-profile tires and stiff suspension are gonna make for bumpy progress inside the UK. Most owners will suffer the pain of it to the sheer performance offered here. Just keep the above stage dampers out of their stiffer mode, because coming from all British roads that's likely for making the RS a true unruly animal. We loved the common seats, though. They're beautifully finished and supportive, albeit sitting slightly higher up than we had been expecting. Less comfortable as well as higher on initial test were the optional Recaro racing seats, but alas, they've proven liked by those who have ordered your vehicle so far. Clearly such customers have performance driving at heart. It isn't a nice car either, even normal mode, but it is a 345 bhp super hatch. They're supposed to get noisy. There's just one single trim level in RS specification. However, you also get the choice of any number of optional extras to help personalize your automobile, most of which have proven very favored by those who've pre-ordered their Fast Focus. Standard Ford Focus RS equipment. Since this is the performance car, let's start using the driving kit. The 2.3-liter engine, 6-speed manual gearbox and all-wheel drive are standard, and gratification can be optimized, which has a launch control system that allows the auto to take off within the quickest possible manner. The suspension dampers use a dual-mode operation, switching from the stiffer, sportier setting along with a more comfortable configuration. You get 4 preset drive modes: normal, sport, track or drift, which are explained from the performance and handling sections. There's a shift light to share with you the perfect time to change gear and 350mm Brembo brakes to slow your vehicle back down again. A list of 19-inch lightweight alloy wheels are included, just like special Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires developed for use together with the RS. The nose sports Bixen on-head cornering headlights which start automatically if your car senses dusk is approaching, along that has a quick clear windscreen with automatic wipers and heated washer jets, while there's some exhaust tailpipes with the rear. Inside the vehicle there's a pair of Recaro front seats with leather bolstering, dual-zone climate control, keyless entry, tire pressure monitoring and several extra gauges for several engine parameters like turbocharger boost pressure, oil pressure and oil temperature. You buy Ford Sync 2 multimedia system which features an 8-inch touchscreen, DAB radio, voice control and 9 Sony speakers. Optional Ford Focus RS accessories. Among the choices proving favored by customer who pre-ordered their RS will be the luxury pack folding door mirrors, rear parking sensors, cruise control and tinted rear windows and Recaro shell front seats, which may have more of your motorsport feel than the typical units. You can decide a list of black forged lightweight alloys also in 19-inch diameter, a group of high-performance Michelin Pilot Sports Cup 2 tires plus some blue brake calipers. The Sync 2 system could be upgraded with SatNav, a reversing camera plus a 10-speaker stereo, while automatic low-speed braking, automatic door edge protectors along with an electric tilt and slide sunroof complete the additional kit. Chances are you'll order. Colors available include black, white and blue. Again, not just a huge change here in the Focus. Street safety is improved with the AWD system, which suggests the RS has much more traction over a front-wheel drive car, so it'll be a little more capable in slippery conditions. Bixen on-head cornering headlights are included free of charge, which work incredibly well, and there's a low-speed automatic braking mechanism available just as one optional extra. Also designed for extra cost could be the luxury pack, which nets you further safety systems within the form of rear parking sensors, cruise control and rear privacy glass. In comparison to its practicality, about the Focus RS just about everything is precisely the same as the Street, but usually because in the extra drivetrain features around the rear axle you lose the spare wheel well in favor of entire inflation kit, so boot space drops to your maximum of 260 liters. This expands to a single 0.045 liters together with the rear seats folded.